I'm actually really passionate about this subject because I am fortunate enough that now I get to do what I absolutely love. Now, what I'm gonna share with you, I used to share one-on-one and so many people started sharing the information. It just got to the point where I wasn't able to do it one-on-one, but I didn't want that to keep anybody from getting this information. So I'm just gonna shoot from the hip. There's no script here, it's you and me. If you're watching this, it means you have either reached out to one of our staff or you might be struggling getting the job or wanting to do something more. And so this is my acquired knowledge over the last decade and a half of actually getting to be a part of this whole industry, this whole process of growth and getting to help others heal through their addiction. And I love that. Now that you are where you are, this is where the real growth starts. I don't want to scare you, but I'm gonna be real with you. This is where the growth starts. And so I see so many people struggle getting a job. Here's the good news. Most people go to get a job the exact same way, and it's why they fail. The methods and strategies I'm gonna share with you are what's been passed down from, well, he wasn't my paternal grandfather. He was like my dad's dad. So he was like a grandfather to me, even though he wasn't my direct grandfather. Here's the cool thing. He actually had 3 jobs during the Great Depression. I don't know if you've done much research on the Great Depression, but nobody was working. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people were waiting in lines just for a possibility of one person getting to work that day. And so what he shared with me, I am now sharing with you because it helped launch me into getting job after job. Even jobs that they said they weren't hiring, I still got hired. So I'm gonna share with you because I'm an open book. So here it goes. The first thing that he taught me was mindset. He said, I looked at it a little bit differently than most people. Most people were hanging out at home saying it was way too tough of a job market. The way I thought of it is if I stay at home, I'm gonna incur more costs with electricity. Now he grew up in Chicago. So the electricity was on, it was a coal furnace. He said we had to burn coal. So whenever I wasn't home, I was able to turn the lights off and I didn't have to keep the coal going, so I actually saved money. So that was the first view of getting out and looking for work because it actually helped. So that was a little mental mind shift. Here's where it gets really interesting though. I encourage you to take notes and to look at your notes again and again. He would go to people that own businesses and he said, look, I know it's tough. He says, I'm a phenomenal worker and I'm gonna prove my work ethic to you. Let me work for you today. I'm not gonna charge you. You don't have to pay me a dime. At the end of the day, whatever you think the value I brought to the company, you can pay me if you want. Does that sound fair to you? It was incredible because when he first shared this with me, my first thought, because I was in taking mode, was, didn't people rip you off? Didn't people literally just lead you along? And he goes, well, sure. He said, but I learned a couple great lessons. Number 1, who not to work for again the next day. But number 2, he goes, there weren't gyms back in the day. There weren't 24-hour fitnesses. I had to get my workout on my own. And so by doing manual labor back then, I was able to stay in shape. I wasn't home, so I wasn't incurring more costs. So really it was a 3-win, a trifecta. Another mindset shift. This kind of rocked me and I thought, holy cow, I'm thinking, didn't people rip you off? What's in it for me? I don't want to get ripped off. And he's thinking, how do I give you so much value? You don't have an option other to pay me. And if you decide to rip me off, well, that's okay. I'll move on to the next person. That blew my mind. I'm hoping you're sitting there kind of like, oh wow, I didn't think like that, because that's how I didn't think. So that was the first lesson that he taught me. So now fast forward to 21st century, if you will, or 20th century. Anyways, so fast forward. I remember I heard servers made a ton of money. I was fresh out of college. Actually, no, I was still going to college, that's right. And there was this place that just opened up in Corona Del Mar called Bandera. I mean, this was the place to go. Everyone was lining up to go there. It was the place to be. I went in one day and I went in with my resume and I met with the manager. I still remember his name was Steve. And I said, Steve, I'm really excited. I want to start working here. The food is phenomenal. The atmosphere is great. I know I can bring a lot of value. He looked at me and he said, we've only been open for 3 months, but we were hired 6 months ago. First. Second, you don't even have serving experience and you're wanting to be a server. There's no room here. Now, The old me would have put my head down and walked out. After learning these lessons from my grandpa, it was incredible because my mindset shifted. So I said, well, Steve, let me ask you something. I want to show you my work ethic. I know I will be one of the hardest workers you'll ever have here. I know that you might be fully hired, but I'm asking you to take a chance on me. And I'm not asking you to take a financial chance on me. Give me a week. If at the end of the week, you see that I'm one of the strongest workers and I'm a huge asset to this company, I ask you keep me on and then you start paying me. But if after that first week, it doesn't work out or for some reason you're not happy, which I can tell you, you're gonna be very happy, but if you aren't, that's fine. You don't have to worry. I won't even paycheck. I won't clock in. It won't cost you a thing other than a chance. He paused, and it was interesting because at first I thought, is this gonna work? He looked at me and he said, I've been managing Houstons and Banderas for almost, I think it was like 15 years at the time, something like that. And he says, I have never had anyone willing to work for free in order to show their value that they can bring. He said, I'm impressed. He said, I can't start you as a server, but here's what I'm gonna do. Come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'll start you as a host. I was blown away, because first thing he told me was, we're not hiring. We started hiring 6 months ago and we have a wait list. There's no way, and you have no experience. Get out of here, kid. So by not accepting that as an answer, by showing how do I add value to you and not even have you worry about what it's gonna cost you until I earn and show that value. Here's where it gets really cool though. He says, don't worry about working for free. I can already tell if you can do what you say you do, that you're gonna work out just fine. So next day, 2:45, I show up. I go ahead and I start picking up trash around the parking lot, just making sure everything is good, throw it away, go in. I meet with him, we go through the paperwork, he hires me, gives me the whole rundown, I start my training. Next day, start, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock, I can't remember back then, but whatever time start, I'd always show up 15 minutes early. Here's another thing that my grandpa taught me. He says, show up early, do a little bit of work off the clock, when you check in, and then when you punch out, do a little bit of work off the clock. This will give you deposits, trust me. So I took his advice. Grandpa was a very, very smart man. And I started doing that. After about 2 weeks, Steve called me into the office. He says, Mark, I thought I was gonna have to let you go. I looked at him floored thinking, are you not happy with my work ethic, with the value I'm bringing? He said, no, on the contrary, you're doing amazing. He said, I see you early working and I see you staying late. I thought you were working unapproved overtime, trying to make more money. And I said, actually, no. He says, I already pulled your time cards, you're spot on. He goes, what do you do? I'm curious. And I said, well, one thing that I noticed my grandfather taught me is the client experience or the patron, if you will, doesn't start once they're in. It starts at the parking lot. I want to make sure when they get out, there's no trash, that it looks nice. When they come in, they can enjoy the dining experience. And so that's why I do a little bit of picking up trash before my shift start off the clock. I don't want to charge you for it. And then at the end, I know what it's like working a long shift and having to do the side work. So I go ahead and do the side work before that next shift comes on, because some people I know are going to be tired or running late, and I want to make sure that the clients get everything that they need. He was blown away. Now, here's the question. After a few weeks, who do you think started getting more attention? This guy. Who do you think got more time with the manager? This guy. Who do you think started getting paid a little bit more than other people? This guy. Within a few months, I made it to a food runner, and then eventually to a server. And what I found is, even though I wasn't the best upsell, they had guys there that were doing so well. That part I was kind of uncomfortable with. But I continued to get some of the best tables, some of the best, I forget the terminology, sections, there you go. I used to get some of the best sections because he knew no matter what happened, I wanted the patrons to have the best experience and I would take care of them, and that I was a hard worker. So the reason why I share this and take this time to share it with you isn't to let you know I'm a great worker, which I am, damn it. It's to let you know, when I think out of the box, 98% of the other people think within the box. When I throw the box out and go, there is no box, how do I show value? It's incredible. And it even happened at school. Here's another quick story for you of how you can take information and apply it in other areas. As a freshman in college, I was trying to take classes that sophomores had first pick over. Now, it's been a while. I'll probably get some of the details mixed up, but long story short, here's what happened. I couldn't petition as a freshman. I stayed, I did all sorts of stuff. I talked to the teachers before, spoke after, even tried to call favors in from other teachers I had before to plant a good seed with this teacher. On the final Friday where you could petition it, the teacher pulled me aside and said, look, it's great seeing you here, it's awesome, but you're not going to be able to petition this class, so I'm just going to let you know right now. And so this is where, taking the information, the strategy that I learned, I applied it to school at college. I said, I am very serious about my education, and I'm having to pay for my own education. I have heard from other teachers that you are the one to take in this class, that there's other teachers that teach it, but they're not as passionate and don't describe things the way you do. I learn a little slower than other people, so I have to really understand the concepts. I am willing to take this class with you for no credit, and I understand you can't allow me to petition. So that way in the summer, when I have to take it for the units, I can actually breeze by it, take the test, and just get the credit. But you are the one that I was told who really passionately cares. Now, if I was being sarcastic or half-hearted, I can tell you right now it wouldn't have worked. For some reason, people can sense when you're bullshitting them. But because I was being genuine and really, really wanted to take that class, she first thought it was a bluff and called me on it. And I want to say that next Monday. I think I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I forget, but I remember going, and it was like all bets are off because I couldn't. I think it was either that Thursday or Friday. She pulled me aside afterwards and she said, again, similar to what Steve said, I've been teaching for X amount of years. I've never seen a person want to learn as bad as you and actually be willing to take a class for no credit. Listen, this is crazy, but I'm going to walk you to the dean and sign off on this. I want you in my class. Most people give up. Most people hear no and they say, okay, fine. For those that go the extra mile or even the extra 10 miles, here's the cool thing. First of all, at 10 miles further than anyone else is willing to go, there's nobody there. There's literally like maybe one or two other people there in the entire world. So once you go that extra mile, that extra 10 miles, there's no competition or very little. So recognizing that, applying that, how you can apply that now is when you go from place to place, ask to meet the hiring manager. Look them in the eye, shake their hand, let them know how much value you're gonna bring, how excited you are to start working. Another thing is that some people say, we'll call you back. Back in the day, I would say, there's no reason to, I'm here now and I'm ready to work. Give me a mop, give me a broom. I'll clean the toilets, whatever you need. I'm the one here right now. I need this job, I want this job, and I'm gonna show you what a real employee looks like. I'm like, take a chance on me. You can see that passion. It works like 90% of the time. Now, for the few times it doesn't work, you say, hey, I get it. Here's another little tidbit that I'll share with you. When you meet that person, get their name, get their card, the next day, you either call or you show up again. Let's say it's Chris. Hey, Chris, I'm the crazy dude who showed up yesterday that said, I'm so excited to start working. I'm ready to come in right now. I've got my uniform on. Can I come in? Oh, no, it's okay, Mark. Next day, same thing, call. Hey, Chris, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm outside in the parking lot, give me a chance. If you do that, so here's the deal, here's where the simple math works. You go to 25 places and you interview or hire or talk with the hiring manager. The next day, you call those 25 and you go to 25 new ones. Day 3, you call those first 50 and you go to 25 new ones. Day 4, you call those 75, you go to a new 25. Do you see how within 3 days max you will get multiple offers? I'm telling you this stuff, it blows me away at how many people want the paycheck but don't want to do the work. When we flip it, I want to do the work. If I get paid, that's an extra bonus. For some reason, that's when people pay you more. That's been my experience. So the funny thing is times have changed since I had to work that way, and people were saying, but it's not that way anymore, Mark. You have to do everything online. I say, think outside of the box. I go, I don't know. So here's what you do. You fill it out online, but you print the stuff out, you walk in, you meet the person. Hey, I know it's all online, but I wanted to give you a face to the name. I'm ready to work today. Here's my background, here's what's going on. Now, I've had some people when I was working one-on-one with them that actually had a history and were convicted felons. And so they said, you don't get it, Mark, it's so much more difficult. I said, well, why don't we do some research? Let's see how to make the weakness a strength. I am huge on finding a weakness and leading with that, or learning how to strengthen that and going with that. So we actually did some research, and I think back in 2008, the Department of Justice did a study. It's called the overcompensation effect. They found that people who were convicted felons before, served their time, paid their debt to society, actually made better employees because they felt they had to work harder, longer, for cheaper, just to make up for what happened in the past. Once I found that out, I encourage these people, now it's up to you. I said, if you know that's gonna come or that's railroading you, road rage, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. If that is hitting you off the course, what happens if you lead with it? And you say, hey, I gotta be completely transparent. You know, not too long ago, I made some poor decisions and I took accountability. I went ahead and paid my debt. And you know what? To be completely honest, I learned some incredibly valuable lessons that I'm glad I learned that young, that I'm able to change my life moving forward. But here's an interesting thing. Are you aware that they did a study back in '08 about this? And there's something called the overcompensation effect. I work harder and longer and for less than most people will because of that. So I know for some people it kind of scares them. It was nonviolent or whatever it is. You be open, but if saying here's what it was at the time. I was hanging out with people that weren't as strong as an environment as I would have liked. But here's what I'm asking you to do. If you take a chance, I will show up early. I will stay late. I will be the dependable one. I will be one of the best employees you ever see. I will guarantee it. If not, you won't have to fire me. I will actually quit. I give you my word. I will give you resignation and quit if you're not happy with me at any time, so you don't have to worry about any of that. This person did it. Now, he wasn't able to get 9 offers out of 10, but he did get, I think it was 2 or 3 offers out of 10. This stuff works. So I know I've been yammering, going on and on and on, but I wanted to share this because so many people say, I don't know how to find a job, or it's such a tough market out there. The people I share this information with, there's 2 camps. The first camp, they come back within 2 days, I think the longest was 3 days, with multiple job offers. The other camp, they come back with a killer tan, stand in their hair and go, dude, the market's tough, no one's hiring. Because they've been at the beach all day, because they're not putting in the work. You don't get paid if you don't put in the work. So that's why I'm sharing this. I'm hoping you get motivated. I'm hoping you see the benefit behind really thinking outside of the box. And when you're hungry, you can go get hired quickly. And then once you continue, a lot of guys that I've worked with as well, they've continued within like 2 to 3 months, actually start training under management, looking at management within 1/4 of working at a place because they're thinking outside of the box. Instead of what are you gonna pay me to work for you, it's how much value can I give you? How quickly can I grow to bring even more value, to bring more revenue to you? And then you pay me what you think is fair. I get so excited with this stuff. There's not a doubt in my mind with this information you have now that you can't go out and get a job today. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear your success stories.